Yo, what is up? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Monday market analysis, the live analysis here. What's up, Garrison? Sick hat, brother.
Appreciate you. I talk about this all the time here on these calls, quirkies. Um, but yeah, I'm doing good. Blessed and highly favored, like you like to say. Green. As you can see, we're green today. Not
Green for
not in
Green
my
Day.
life or in real life, but in the market.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Yeah, it looks like right now today's July 15th. Bitcoin sitting at $64,861. We got Ethereum sitting at $3,483. Solana sitting at 158.34. Let's go. XRP finally broke above 50 cents again, looking at 55 cents.
Yay.
Cardano sitting at 44 cents. And Chainlink we'll call out. Chainlink yo, Polkadot's emblem on CoinGecko, bro, is like a little GIF. It's
Really?
kind of it's kind of sick, yeah. It turns into like a little flame.
I'm about to
But
look.
anyway, Chainlink looking at $14.45. Wait till you see it, bro. It's kind of sweet. All right, we
Oh
got the
yeah, I
light back
do.
on.
Damn.
You can see me again. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna share my screen, kind of mark up some charts, show everybody what I'm looking at. And let's see.
Let's do it.
Can you see my trading view?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Yeah, honestly, bro, we called some of these projects out down here in this red zone. And a lot of these projects, they were up 30, 40, 50%, some of them. Yeah,
Are you on the daily
36.
chart? Yeah.
Yeah, on
Where
the daily.
was where was last week? So the 8th, Monday the 8th.
The eighth.
Yeah, like right there.
Right there. Yep.
Is that when we talk? Is that yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah. Yeah, we were calling out these zones last week, like Garrison said. Looking at a lot of these. I mean, almost every single one of them you look at, there's the eighth. They're almost all up. Bitcoin went on a run. You can see again, a lot of these
Little
markets
tear.
going up roughly about 30%, Bitcoin about 14. Let's see here. Compound moved up a little bit. Some of these are going to move a little bit slower than the others. We got the old volatile Ethereum name service. Let's see here. FIDA kind of jumped up and around. GRT still sitting there. Which one?
Jasmine, I heard, went on a run too.
Yeah, Jasmine did go on a run, bro. Where is Jasmine?
Up, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jasmine went on a little run. Again, a lot of these markets like went up 30, 40%, some of them 60 there, roughly. One thing I've been watching is Maker. Garrison, I've been watching Maker.
Yes,
I love
sir. Me
Maker.
too.
We've originally we were calling this puppy out back around here.
The good days, man.
Yeah, for
What was
real,
it a
bro.
year ago? 23rd. And
2022, bro. Almost this Christmas will be 2 years, bro. That's crazy.
guys, just so you know, if I'm swinging at the air, there's a fly in my room. So,
He's doing Aikido. Some
oof, break my mind.
I think that's what it's called, maybe not. But yeah, honestly, what I'm looking at here, we go on the weekly, we get some more major time zones, time frames. And actually you can see market pretty much perfectly resisted the 61.8% line. Um, fib level on that. If we do it in the opposite direction, because we do want to see it go up, so let's throw it this way, right? We have really, and depending on what high we measure off of too, right? Kind of depends on there, but we'll go from there. Looks like we are in that green zone, kind of in that same area, right? Almost came back down and hit the 61.8 in the opposite direction, right? We hit it here, continue down to a retracement to almost this one here, almost perfectly. But I know it's a little hectic there, so we'll zoom in. But again, these are the reasons, not reasons. These are kind of like the zones I'm looking at. So we'll go back down to the daily here. The reason we like to watch Maker is because usually with Maker, Maker runs and the alts follow. Why does that happen? Well, Maker is a lending and borrowing protocol. A lot of Ethereum gets locked up here first because people can actually lock their money up, take a loan out against themselves, take about 60 to 70% of the money they have locked up, right? Let's say they lock up ETH, they lock up the, let's say 100K, they could pull out 60K, still have that 100K as long as their health factor stays within reason. So, we break it down here again. A lot of people just really want to double down. And Garrison, we talked about it too, bro. We should be, these are some of the things. I think it was the bear market, was it when you wanted to get into those borrowing protocols? I can't remember. I'd have to do a little more research back on it again. But
Yeah, no, typically I feel like when you're, at least if you're gonna lend or get a loan, it'd be best to try and set yourself up for a close bottom.
yeah, and
Um,
even here, bro, right? About eight last week when we did this call would have been probably a perfect time,
yeah, no, it wouldn't be bad,
realistically.
especially like the thing that can be scary about specifically borrowing, really lending, your lending is basically the same thing as holding in my eyes, but
Yeah,
you're basically giving it to a bank. They can do what they want. You also get a little bit of say of what they do a lot of the time. Like it's like a DAO. So maker DAO. Um, if you're staking your maker, odds are you have some decision in what they do with the pools.
yeah, absolutely, bro.
when you're
We'll
when
have
you're
a reason.
borrowing, it can be a little bit sketchier, especially if you're gonna borrow at the top and then it goes down and then you're gonna get your loans are gonna get called because the market's dropping and
Facts,
that's
man.
which is normal.
But yeah, so that's the reason why we're really looking at makers, because maker tends to affect how all the altcoins flow. And a lot of us are looking at the altcoins. A lot of us are holding altcoins, which we should be holding a lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the apex property, the apex asset, the best of the best. There is no second best, like Michael Saylor says. But at the end of the day, not all of us are Michael Saylor and can buy $700 million worth of Bitcoin. So we're playing the doubles game, right? Or if our goal is to obtain Bitcoin in the long run, we need to figure out how we can double our money, like Patrick Bet David teaches in the 20 Rules of Money video on YouTube. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Now, let's look in the market here. So 78.80 or 78.6, 88.6 zone here. You can see we pretty much came down, perfectly played in it, touched that level, respected it perfectly here on the daily. And now we're moving back up. We're moving back up. You can see we broke through the 50%, 61.8. Now we've touched that 78.6, 88.6 level, right? Not the 88.6 yet, but we're kind of resisting there, slowing down at least a little bit. Maybe not resisting just yet, but slowing down for sure. And so this zone right here, I want to see us really break through here. But I mean, like we just had a decent pump in the market. Again, a lot of people think the market always goes up, but we just pumped 40%,
For
43%.
real.
Huge increase right there, right? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of retrace down here just a little bit. If we do, I don't think we're gonna retrace far, to be honest, right? We're right here. Oh my goodness, the green is not a good color, bro. Let me get the black. There we go. All right. So yeah, the market, I think we might retrace probably here, maybe somewhere on the, oh my goodness. What is that? 27.97. Yeah, 27.97, $2,797, which is this line here. And then this is that next one. I honestly would like to see us kind of come down to this. What is that? $22,663.82. I want to see us come down to that one personally and retest and continue up. Even if we don't, I think we're probably going to just blow through these levels. But it's hard to say what exactly is going to happen. There's a lot of bullish sentiment in the market right now. A lot of things just happen with Trump. There was an attempt to assassinate Trump in the within the last week since our last call. Like
It
some
was
crazy
Saturday.
things.
Yeah.
I'd consider that even a black swan event. It gives people kind of a little bit of fear, right? They're scared. One of the potential candidates for the United States almost just got killed. Bro got grazed by a bullet, it looked like. And it's kind of scary. They're like, oh my gosh, it's an uncertainty. So what do people do when uncertainty happens? They buy assets, they buy gold, they buy things that can retain value. They get scared, they get emotional, they buy things that at least wealthy people, because they understand what happens with events like that. So yeah, man, I'm really interested to see where we go from here. So we got somebody else hopping in here. But I'm excited to see where we go from here, bro. I don't know if you wanted to share some things on your side of the side, or if you wanted to pull up anything. If you want to share your screen,
No,
or
yeah, I'll jump in for a little bit. I'll talk about some news. Also give a quick opinion on my chart as well.
yeah,
Am I good to share my screen?
not yet, bro. Hold on. 1 second.
But yeah, so it looks like a pretty big thing right now is the SEC, or I'm sorry, Coinbase has got a subpoena and wants to see Gary Gensler's emails during time as SEC chair, which that could be
Sheesh.
pretty interesting. That could get him fired. That for real could probably get him fired.
It'd be crazy if his
Obviously, we
emails
don't
just
know what
got.
he said, but go ahead.
I said it'd be crazy if his emails just kind of Hillary Clinton themselves.
I know. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all. Um, and I feel like part of it is I know that Coinbase, when they first got sued, they dropped a video on Twitter saying, what's good, Chris? How's it going,
Mhm.
fam? Feel free to drop any questions in the chat if you have anything or um any news you'd like us to talk about. But yeah, when SEC first sued Coinbase, I remember Coinbase dropping a video like how many times they went to the SEC to try to get
Yeah.
guidance, and it was like 20 something times and they got no response. So I feel like maybe that subpoena, and I don't know anything about the court system or anything, but um I feel like that subpoena could be to just prove that and maybe uncover some other things. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Um
It's definitely gonna be
Ethereum
interesting,
ETFs
bro.
are getting closer day by day.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
don't
interesting,
really,
man. Sorry, I interrupted you, but that what you said, I think that I dropped maybe a link earlier today or maybe yesterday. I can't remember what it was, but it was a news article. Maybe I just seen it or scrolled. I don't know where it is, bro, to be honest with you. Long story short, I think it had something to do with the SEC calling Matt. I actually seen it on the way to work today. It was calling like Matic, Decentraland, and like three other
oh,
cryptos as security. I don't know if I'll have to try to find it in the meantime, but
yeah, I've
yeah,
seen that.
bro.
I mean, I feel like at this point they've just called all of cryptocurrency a security.
Yeah.
Um, they've been f feeling their way through a blind room, just whatever they touch, they're like security, whatever it
Literally,
is.
bro. Oh no, what did I touch this time? Matic, you're done, brother. XRP, you
Um,
got gripped.
yeah, they're still fighting, man. Poor XRP. They're still a good project. Like Tyler showed earlier, it's at some good zones right now. I mean, we were playing with that around 30 cents last year. So, a lot of people are taking profits, guys. This is pretty normal. But let me get back to the news before I jump into that. Um, looks like Bitcoin and Ether lead 17.8 billion crypto inflows. Inflows into digital asset investment products have hit a new record, pointing the start of potential crypto market recovery. Um, this is bittersweet to me because a lot of Bitcoin, like professional Bitcoin analysts, however you say that, are saying that a lot of the worst is behind us. I also saw JP Morgan said August could be a good month for crypto, which that kind of scares me, to be honest. I don't like to see them pumping their own bags. I feel like that means they're just gonna dump on everybody. So, let me share my screen here. I should be good, right?
Yeah, yeah, and plus Jim Cramer, bro. Um, Jim Cramer was also talking about what didn't he say he was bullish on ETH? Did you see the video of that?
I don't think I did.
Oh, bro, just recently there was some stuff on Twitter. He was talking about he's like, yeah, I'm really bullish on Ethereum. And I was like, uh-oh, bro, sell ETH. Um, what did Chris I missed what Chris said on there. Let's see. He said
I'm trying to
you think
share my
Bitcoin will see another
screen.
pullback. Honestly, bro, personally
Oh,
looking at
here.
Bitcoin specifically, Curious, I don't know if you want to pull it up there and give it a little
Yeah, I got
analyze,
my
but
chart here. So, um, did you have something you wanted to say? Sorry.
no, no, you're good.
So this, let me get rid of some of this. Boom, boom.
Getting rid of the
So
Picasso, bro.
yeah, let me put this right here for now. So let me go back even more. Obviously Bitcoin's been on a tear for the year. So I took it from this bottom to this high that we hit back in March. We didn't quite go to the 50% zone. We got very, very close to the 382. Didn't touch it, which, especially if we continue up, that could be pretty bullish. But I want to take a look down at the smaller time frames. Last week, we were talking about being prepared to see these zones here. We were also talking about being prepared for these levels when we were up here. But you're always going to want to be prepared, especially when it's crypto in general. Dollar cost averaging is always going to be king, but this level right here has seen a lot of resistance. Like it's always rejected off this level, even if I go back to the weekly, like Bitcoin's history, rejection, wicked up there, rejected right away. Didn't break above, did make a little bit move above, but went right back down. Now we're back up here. We've made some closes above this. Now we're pushing, we made a little bit of a retracement, bounced back up above the zone, closed, couldn't hold it, which means the buyers were, a little weak at these levels. Fell back down to a nice, if you take it from this low to this high, it's a pretty big imbalance. Bitcoin went up 91% in 51 days. So that's a pretty big imbalance. So it's a, that's a clear trend going up. So you take it from that low to that high, came back, hit our 50% zone, didn't hit the 618, which again, is pretty bullish too. And we're back up here, kind of rejecting the 618 level if you take it from, hold on. Okay. We got tornado sirens going off by us, I guess. So let me
Interesting, bro. Be
finish this
safe
up
there,
real
brother. Be
quick.
safe.
Um, but yeah, this is a pretty big zone where sellers are waiting. As you can see, it's sold off here quite often, even if we go back into the history. And 618 here, big zone. I would like to see us break and close above, keep pushing up, maybe to this level. If we can't continue up from the 64, 66 level, wouldn't be surprised to see a move back down to like 58 or even back into these levels again. Just got to read and react. It's kind of weird with the market right now with all the money coming in and, um, things like,
Oh,
everybody
it's
saying,
McFly, bro. What's up? I
oh,
didn't know.
nice.
I didn't know that was him, bro.
No, neither did I. But yeah, so I could see Bitcoin, either continue up here, but this isn't a bad level for it to reject, to be honest. Um, so we'll see, play it day by day, pay attention to the news. It does kind of scare me that everybody's saying that, like JP Morgan and everybody's saying the worst is behind us, but we'll see what happens. Guys, I do probably got to go. I should probably go hit the basement or something.
Yeah, bro. Go. Make me the host really quick, and I'll wrap.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna do a couple more things here on the call, but definitely be safe, bro. Appreciate your market analysis before the NATO smacks you.
How do
Nah, for real, bro. Be
yeah,
safe, man.
make host? All right, you should be good. Appreciate you
Thanks, bro.
guys. Have a good night, McFly. Have a good night, Tyler. We
You
will
too, bro.
talk to you guys later.
Oh man, that's wild. But yeah, man. So there's a couple things here. So let me share my screen too that I wanna pull up. Let's see. Um, chat out the way. Gosh, dang it. I made this thing a little too small here. Where's all my there we go. I'll just share the whole desktop. Ain't got nothing to hide here. Let's see. All right. Got a little hectic computer going on. I got the zoom down here so you guys can see me. If I get away from it, you guys are probably not gonna be able to see me that well. Guess you don't want to see me. But looking at the charts. All right, let me pull this up. So for me, Bitcoin, kind of similar to what Garrison's looking at. Literally almost the same exact areas. We both use fibs. Mine's a little more color coded. I'm a little more OCD than Garrison. But similar things. I mean, you look at it on the weekly. That's where these major zones kind of come into play. And even if you draw them up in the flip side or here, either way, these zones keep getting played off of. You draw it up here, right? We get out of this one. Look at it here on the weekly. And this is what we call like a fib cluster, the 38.2s, the 78.6. And I believe there was another fib we threw on there that also lined up, but I don't have it on there right now just because it gets a little noisy. Me and Garrison always joke about it, call it a Picasso, like a painting. Um, but yeah, personally, bro, I mean, we're not that far from, I think you said 70K. So looking at it from here to here, bro, I mean, realistically, that's only another 8% move up. And within, I think, where'd that little measuring tool go? From here, just today, technically, 'cause that candle right there that we're looking at, that's tomorrow. So whenever midnight strikes Eastern time, that's our new day. But technically, um, this is already tomorrow. This is June 16th. But so in a day, I mean, we've seen a 7% increase. So realistically, bro, Mount Gox has sold off a lot of their Bitcoin, or sending a lot of their Bitcoin back to the people who they owed money from like 10 years ago. Germany's back to zero. They were the fifth largest holder of Bitcoin, sold all of it. But then you got to keep in mind, how are they selling it, whether it's over the counter or just peer to peer, or exchange trading, or over the counter, which is peer to peer. So if it's over the counter, like imagine I sell you 100 Bitcoin, it's not really going to affect anything, right? Let's say you bought my house for 100 Bitcoin, but that Bitcoin's already in circulation, so it just goes from hand to hand. Nobody's buying or selling it on the exchange, which means it won't affect its rate. So like when the miners, for example, sell the money or sell their Bitcoin to really anybody that's buying they're partnered with, it doesn't affect the price. But the second they start selling to the exchanges, that's when price starts to get effect too. And then if you look at the miner reserves, which I don't have the chart here, I don't think on my computer. But if you look at the miner reserves too, bro, the miner reserves are down the last, I think, 2-3 months because of the halving, right? They're getting half the Bitcoin that they were before as a reward, meaning they don't have as much to sell. So also meaning that selling pressure isn't as strong from them too. But realistically, bro, I want to see us break above the 61.8 to continue up. And then our next zone to worry about is this red box. Otherwise, I actually think we could come back down and touch this purple, the 60,102. I think we could probably come to that, and maybe for a retest, right? And even that, any move at this point, up or down, isn't what would be normal. It's just hard to say what exactly is going to happen. Personally, I want it to continue up. I think a lot of us do, but ultimately what it does is really up to everybody, how everybody feels, what if they're scared, if they're fearful, right? Trump candidate coming up for president almost just got assassinated, bro. People are a little uncertain. Uncertainty in the market means people tend to buy things. By things, I mean assets, things that retain value, property, gold, silver, Bitcoin in this case. And that's also why I think we see the rise in Bitcoin too, right? Number one, Germany's out of Bitcoin to sell. Number two, people are scared. This happened literally today, technically, right? And the day before. So within our last call, bro, we've been, Bitcoin itself has gone up. I think we looked at it 14-15% roughly. Some of these other markets charts specifically have gone up 30-40%. I mean, I'm sure Link's probably gone up 15-20% minimum. Yeah, 17. And then you look at like Solana. Wish I would have bought more, bro, at 11 freaking dollars. Your boy be rich. But regardless, yeah, a lot of these went up 10, 20, 30%. A lot of the altcoins, and that's where Maker comes in handy, because Maker is the lending and borrowing protocol. Almost 90% of Ethereum gets locked up on ETH. And a lot of the other thing I like to pull up on here is actually this. We go to DeFi Llama. And DeFi Llama has this cool thing called liquidations. Now, the cool thing about the liquidations, and I show this a lot on here, but the cool thing about this, bro, in traditional finance, you can't see this stuff. But because this looks weird because it's so little. But because this is DeFi, decentralized finance, you're able to see this type of stuff, which is super dope. Yeah, right, bro. I'm hoping that for that bull candle up. But ultimately, yeah, what's cool about this in traditional finance, when yeah, dude, there's so many cool little websites, web tools. A lot of those are actually in the Discord. They're in here. Oop, frick. If I can move this. They're in here under web something. You see. Useful websites, that's what it is. There it is right here. But a lot of these are under here too. So there's some cool websites. Michael Saylor gives away free college education. A lot of these you can transfer for to different universities. They're like they actually transfer to universities. Hope.com is a website Michael Saylor created, all about Bitcoin, infinite market cap. So if you want to compare, like if ETH had the market cap of Bitcoin, or if ETH had the market cap of gold, like you can compare market caps. Bitcoin treasuries, we got the cryptos, a lot of cool websites in here. This is pretty much the what is it called? Uh blanket on it, bro. It's a funny cartoon show on Comedy Central. I should not be blanking on this. Eric Cartman's in there. I can't think of the name. Family Guy, not Family Guy. Jesus, South Park. Frick, I'm blanking, bro. But long story short, yeah, the cool thing about DeFi Llama, which is just a cool web tool, is you can go on the liquidations over here, and there's a lot more cooler stuff on here too. But liquidation, so when you're trading in leverage in a traditional finance market, you have something called getting like margin called. Like, so if I was leverage trading $100 and I was down on my trade, right? If I was down 80%, I would get like what they would call margin called, and they would liquidate all of my $100 because I'm still holding that 100, right? I'm holding the swing of that trade. But if I don't have enough money to hold the swing of the trade, they'll liquidate my position. You can't see everybody's liquidation levels in traditional finance. In DeFi, you can see every spot they're getting liquidated, right? And look at all the money locked up. And this is all where? In Maker. That's why I like to look at Maker, because Maker kind of dictates what the alts are going to do. Are people locking their money up in Maker because they want to take a loan out against their money? And then they can, right? If they lock this $252 million up, they could take about 60 to 70% of that. And as long as their health factors within reason, they don't have to pay that loan back. They don't have to pay it back monthly, yearly. They could just hold it as long as their health factor is okay, which is super cool. So, right, they have 150,000 ETH locked up. And if ETH goes to 1684, we come over here to the market, ETH goes to 1684, they get liquidated, meaning their price gets sold to cover their losses, which is way down here, right? I don't think ETH's going there, which again kind of gives you an idea. Okay, let's see. So let's see the next higher one. This is the things I kind of like to do. So 2100, that's kind of up there, but that's still not 2500. Let's find one that's even closer. I'm sure there is. But you can see a lot of money's locked up here. 5.7, 5.5, 5.5, these $1 million, right? But yeah, I mean, about 2,600 bucks, right? If ETH comes back to 2,600 bucks, they're getting liquidated. And then you can see these zones where we have on here the last level of support, right? About 2,600 bucks, they're getting liquidated. Well, what's marked up there is our last levels of support. This is where all the buyers are. That's why we call it the last level of support, because if it were to come down here to continue down and wanted to continue down, we got to take out our buyers. That's our last level of support, the people who bought in the first place. Or, right, they swapped out, they bought, they sold, and the people bought their positions here. So ultimately, I don't think ETH's coming back down there, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think it's going to. There's a lot of positions there. If it does, they get liquidated. We watched a Bitcoin position, and you can come up here and actually change this to wrap Bitcoin to almost any token now. There's not as much money locked up in some of these as, right, you can see it's an Aave, and Maker. So these are other projects that I like to watch too. Like, all this money's locked up in Aave. Come on, bro. Easy. So Aave is another one I've been calling out for quite a while too. We've been calling Aave out since it's going on weekly here, because it's way back when. Right around here, about 50 bucks. 2022 is December. Let me move this. December 2022. Right here. Yep. So about 50 bucks. But yeah, so I mean, the market went up. I mean, even right now, we're up still 100% from those original areas. And even then, we get this amazing retracement. And then we're up another 30, 40%, right? If you bought in, perfect buy up to there, about 40, 50%. It takes, and this is where the money's game and all these other things that Patrick Bet-David talks about in not diversifying unless you're a whale. You got a bunch of money. Diversification is kind of a scam unless you got a bunch of money. If you got $1,000, no need to diversify. You should just put the whole bag on there. Unless, right, you only got $1,000 and you're 82 and it's the last money you have to your name. There's different. Everybody's got a different time horizon and different risk horizon. So you got to keep that in mind too. Not everybody's position is going to be the same. But making money is a doubles game, and it's a doubles game because you start with $1,000 and double it 10 times compounded. You don't take, meaning you don't take any profits. You double it from 1,000 to 2,000. Don't take profits. Then double 2,000 to 4,000. Do that 10 times. So double $1,000 10 times. You're at $1 million. It only takes 10 doubles. So, like literally from 50 to 100. From here, let's keep going. What is that? So about $140, which we were just up here not too long ago. That would be your first double. Obviously, if you got in down there. But that's the cool part about this. And right now, understanding money is the biggest thing, is getting people to understand this concept, understand money, to understand that the dollar is a sinking ship. Imagine you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean, and you know that it takes on 2% of water, about actually 6% of it gets filled with water every year. How many years can it go until it sinks? How much water do you need in that boat for it to sink? So that's pretty much where I'm looking at the market, right? Fiat currency is bleeding. It's literally taking on water. It's a sinking ship. And then you have something like Bitcoin, the apex property, the apex asset. People are buying this because they're scared, because they need to retain their value of wealth. They want to multiply their wealth, because statistically speaking, Bitcoin goes up about 50% every single year, some years more, some years less. But if you hold on for the long term, you're looking at about 50% turn every single year. The S&P does about 8 to 10% on a good year, but the cost of capital is about 6 to 7%. The cost of capital, meaning inflation. How much does it cost for you to hold on to 100K USD? Well, if you held on to it since 2020 to 2023, you'd have lost 25K worth of purchasing power. You would have still had the 100K. You'd have just lost 25K worth of purchasing power, which is insane. And I see it every single day, right? I'm looking at my Spectrum, is what in Florida, that's what we call it, Spectrum for your Wi-Fi. Like, I think that there's a lot of other ones too, but I got Spectrum, right? My Wi-Fi cost me like $60, bro. When I first got it, it was $34. It's doubled in 3 years since I got here in 2020, bro. It's wild. And I can only imagine how it is in other places, right? You have places outside of the US, which is even scarier. The ZAR, or the Zimbabwe ZAR, I think it is, or in Naira, the Nigerian Naira. If you go look at these, right? Actually, we can pull these up. Let me go to. Only got a few minutes left here before we Naira. Here it is, right here, and you can see this is. Oh, I think I added it here. So this is compared to the euro. So if this were to be going up, the Nigerian Naira compared to the euro would be gaining value. Look at this thing going down, bro. And the euro is a losing. The euro sucks. If you look at the USD to the euro dollar, I don't know why this says euro actually, but like to the GBP is usually what like a forex pair would be. Nigeria to, yeah, look. Right, we look at this chart, similar, came from forex, right? This is gaining value against the dollar too. And so this is where it gets scary. Now you pay attention to where the DXY is a good thing to look at as well, but you pay attention to where the dollar's going. Dollar's been losing value, right? And it appears to be gaining value. And this is where it gets different too. You look at real estate. If you value real estate in fiat currency, it appears to be gaining value, but it's actually not, because if you value it in Bitcoin, something that gains value, it's actually getting cheaper over time. So it depends on how you look at it, right? Is real estate getting cheaper, or not cheaper? Is it getting more expensive? Is it going up in value? Because you think about it too, right? Gold is really great at retaining value. I don't like that Peter Schiff tries to make it seem better than Bitcoin, because realistically, if you study it and understand it, you know that it's not. But if you look at gold, gold is really good at retaining wealth. In the 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, you could buy a really nice tailored suit for about a half a bar of gold, and you would just give them the half a bar of gold at that time. Now, today, about a half a bar of gold, you can't just give them the half a bar of gold anymore, but a half a bar of gold is actually going to give you that same thing, right? You can still get about a nice tailored suit for the USD value that you would have for a half a bar of gold. So gold's good at retaining value. You can still get the same thing 1920s, 1930s that you can today, 100 years later. But with the US dollar, you can't. Everything changes. I've done a study. Garrison always likes when I pull it up. And we'll end it out with this too, only because there's 4 minutes left before the Zoom ends. But this is a study on this crinkly piece of paper because I did it myself. If you want to challenge it, feel free to, because I did the research. But ultimately, what I did is in 1984, 40 years ago, I got the average price of a car, gas, rent, how much it cost to buy a home, the salaries, and bread, a loaf of bread. And I got the cost of what it cost in 1984 and what it costs today and how much it's gone up. And we're going to end it here once I go over this. But let's start off with a car. So a car in 1984, 40 years ago, it cost you $6,300. $6,300 would buy you a brand new car in 1984. Today it costs about $47,401. The average car, right, including Lambos, the Tesla trucks, all sorts of other stuff you got to keep in mind too. But it's a price increase of 652% in 40 years. This is our parents' time, right? Our parents' lifetime. They've seen this and they don't even realize it, which is crazy. Imagine to live through this and barely even know that it happened. So gas was 92 cents a gallon in 1984, which was 40 years ago, 40 years ago. And today, your average gallon of gas is 3.59. That means a 290% increase. 1984 average rent was 350. Today, average rent is $2,122 a month, which is a 506% increase. The average cost of a home in 1984, and this is in California, a more expensive place, specifically because I couldn't find any other data in 1984 for this, so I stuck with the average price of a home specifically in California. So in California in 1984, it's 115,000. In today, you're looking at a $680,000 house for the average, which is a 491% increase. Your loaf of bread, right? If you're hungry, all you can get is a PB&J. In 1984, it was 66 cents a loaf. And today it costs you $2.54 a loaf, which is 284% increase. And the last thing, which is the most important, how much are we getting paid, right? What is the incentive for working for money, the average of 100,000 hours for our entire life? What do we get? Well, you get the average of 1984, the average salary was $30,000. Today, the average salary is $58,000 a year, which is exactly a 100% increase. Well, everything else has gone up at least 250% plus, at least bare minimum. So keep that in mind, guys. Learn, spend time investing into your knowledge, into what you can take forever, right? Everybody can take, you got shoes, you got clothes, you can take all your physical belongings off, but somebody could strip you from all physical belongings, but they cannot strip you from the things inside your own mind, the things you obtain, the things you learn, the skill sets you learn and along the way. So that being said, guys, we appreciate you. This will be uploaded to the YouTube as soon as possible, probably before midnight tonight. I got to get it edited, but yo, McFly, Chris, bro, appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on here, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. It definitely gave us a little direction here on what to cover, because Garrison and I just like to cover what we normally like to cover. But thanks, bro. And every Monday we do this 10 p.m. Eastern. Next time we will see you. And we're out, guys. Peace.